we're gonna grow some beans, y'all. Hello and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. We are back at it again and we are working on green beans today. Hi everyone, my name is Kim and I am growing an indoor garden this year, and I have an indoor grow tent, I have hydroponics, I have GreenStalks, I have Vego Garden herb planters, I have anything that I can grow in, and I am trying to put something in everything. And for this particular video, we are going to grow green beans. For the green bean variety, we are going to grow strike bush. And for this particular green bean, it is from M.I. Gardener. It is a 55-day to harvest. And it says that this is a green bean, it's a bush bean, that a lot of commercial growers grow it because of the just how compact and dense the green beans are in each of the locations. It says that they have a mild green color and smooth stringless pods and can grow between 5 and 6 inches. And they're known for their concentrated pod set, giving you a heavy yield, making them ideal for canning. Now, y'all, I ain't trying to can any beans. I've already canned so many beans, and I'm still eating beans from last year. So I just gave a whole bunch of them away so that we can eventually start enjoying this year's supply as well. But there's nothing like fresh green beans. And so even though I have at least a 2-year supply upstairs, I want some fresh green beans too. And that's why we're going to start some green beans indoors this winter so we can enjoy fresh beans this season as well. I don't buy any of my vegetables from the grocery store. If I don't grow it, we don't eat it. So if I want some fresh beans this winter, I'm going to have to grow those beans. So that's what we're going to do. I have my beans from this pack right here. They've been soaking now. How long have they been soaking? For about 12 hours. A lot of times you can start soaking your beans the night before you plan on using them. That is another option. You don't have to soak your beans, but by soaking them first, it'll give them a jump start when you get ready to plant them. Now, my plan is to grow them in this container right here. Now, this was some kind of toy from years ago that I put holes in the bottom, and I now grow in this container. It's about 10 inches long and about 6 inches wide. And then I'm also going to use this Vego Garden herb planter right here. Now, I had this planter outside in my outdoor grow space over this past summer. I've brought it indoors. I cleaned it all up. Well, mostly cleaned it up. And we are now going to grow beans in here. Now, if I look at the pack, and you always want to follow the directions on your seed pack on how we're going to plant it. It says I need to plant them a 1/2 inch deep, and they're container friendly, and we are going to grow in containers. And it says that they should germinate somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. And it says the plant spacing is 6 to 8 inches apart. We're not going to do that. Let me just be honest. I'm not going to do that. I am going to follow the square foot garden method. And here's one of the books of the square foot gardening method. And green beans can be planted, I believe, every 3 inches apart. And so I've kind of laid out in these containers. I've actually messed this one up. But I've laid out in these containers where they're about 3 inches apart where we're going to place these beans. And that's it. Now let's talk about the growth media. What am I growing in? I am growing in a mixture of things. My preferred media to grow in is Fox Farm. Y'all, it's December. It's the middle of December. I can't put my hands on Fox Farm anywhere here unless I order it online and pay a whole bunch of money for shipping, which I'm not going to do. So I was able, well, one, I already had some leftover potting mix from last year that I had in a container. So I have that mix. It was a horrible potting mix, by the way. Absolutely horrible. I'm not even going to give you the brand name. It was so bad. It's just nothing but sticks and bark. It's horrible. And it stunted the growth of a lot of my plants indoors last year. But I was able to put my hand on some moisture control Miracle Grow. And there is nothing wrong with that product. It comes with tons of fertilizer and that kind of stuff in it. It's not my preferred because it has some synthetic things in it. I prefer more organic types of soil. But I got the Miracle Grow. I mixed it in with what I already had of that crappy stuff. And I added some good stuff too. So let me show you the good stuff. So I added some compost. Now I have some compost. I actually do indoor composting. And I've already used it all. I don't have any I can use right now, but I purchased this Land and Sea organic compost last year, a long time ago, a very, very long time ago. And so we are still using from it. So I added some Land and Sea organic compost. And I do like this compost, by the way. I also added some Dr. Earth fertilizer. And I really do like my Dr. Earth. I'm using Dr. Earth on everything in my grow tent at the moment, but I will use other things. But Dr. Earth is one of my favorite granular fertilizers. I also use the liquid Dr. Earth or Fox Farm Grow Big liquid fertilizer. But I put some of this in as well. And so that's the setup right here. That's what we got going on. And this process is so easy. It's so easy. I didn't get my gloves. Let me go grab my gloves. Now, last year I tried to grow green beans, bush green beans in my indoor grow space. And I had a bad set of seeds. Then I got a good set of seeds, but I had them in my green stalks. My green stalks were so close together that they kept bending and hitting, and it was just a bad setup. So this year I'm growing them completely separate so I can keep them out of the way of everything else so we don't have to worry about them bending because I have them so densely planted. And this one actually has a support system in it. So this system here will kind of help support those plants a little bit more than the way I had them set up last year. Now my indoor grow space is a 4x8 grow tent, which gives me more growing space than I had last year. So I could grow them in my GreenStalk this year because I have more room to spread them out so everything has plenty of room when I go turning them around. But I'm going to do them this way this year. I already got my name tags because I am horrible about remembering what I planted. And we are going to, I'm going to have to re-put my little holes in here. Remember, we're going about a 1/2 inch deep. And there's supposed to be 25 seeds in here. Hopefully, I have 25 seeds. So let me just drop these in. I've never grown this bean before, this striker. I don't know anything about this. I'm saying striker. Strike bean. I've never grown strike before. A piece of wood. So hopefully it has a nice taste, especially if commercial growers are using it. I'm planting them again just about 3 inches apart. And you can actually buy a tool that'll show you how to space your plants out for the square foot gardening method. I've never used it, I'll be honest with you. I kind of just eyeball it. Well, this is definitely a lot more than 25 beans, so I'm not going to be mad, but I'm going to have to make room for it. I've soaked them, so we're going to use them. I can put 12. Believe it or not, y'all, there are 12 beans in this little bitty space. And if I was truly using the square foot gardening method, in each square foot, for green beans, I should be able to get 12 seeds. So this is a little smaller than that because I just told you it was about a 6 by 10 space. So it's a little smaller, but I'm still putting 12 seeds in there. And then I still have a handful here. So we're going to have to find a home. I have the perfect spot. We'll find a home for these few seeds that are left, which is not a few seeds. That's a lot of seeds. There's still 11 seeds in here. And I've already filled up these containers. So let's make a little more room here. And then I will put 1 pocket of beans in the GreenStalk. And that way we'll be able to compare the beans in the GreenStalk to the beans in these containers. And we'll go over there and get these last beans in just a moment. So let's talk a little bit about, well, let me finish burying them. So 1/2 inch deep, I'm eyeballing that as well. And we really don't have to get that worried about our plants. Our plants, our seeds, they want to grow. They want to survive. They want to reproduce. So if you're a little over 1/2 inch deep, they'll still come up. If you don't have quite 1/2 inch, guess what? If it's going to come up, it's going to come up. So don't worry about some of those type things. You'll be surprised. Your plants will come up in so many different places and you'll be like, wow, they want to grow. Just keep that in mind. Everything wants to grow. All right, we got these 2 planted up. So let's talk about them just a little bit here. So this container has nothing to catch water. Sorry, if I water, it's coming through the bottom. And so I put it in a tray here. And one of the things that you have to be concerned about indoors is bringing pests inside. Fungus, gnats, aphids, whiteflies, all kinds of stuff come inside when you're trying to grow indoors. So one of the things that I use to help with fungus gnats is Mosquito Bits. It's for mosquitoes, but it will kill the larva of fungus gnats as well. And so I put this in the bottom of my containers where there's going to be standing water, and it won't kill anything flying around, but it'll keep any additional eggs from hatching. So it will stop that cycle. So I have some in the bottom of this container right here already. And then this container right here, this Vego Garden container, it is actually a self-watering container. So you see I picked it up and it has the bottom here is self-watering. And I put some of those mosquito bites in the bottom of this container as well. They're in there. I do not want to have a breeding ground for fungus gnats. So I just wanted you to see that. So this, I won't have to water as often. It's got a device on here that's going to measure how much water is in here. And on the back, I could close these off. That would keep water from ever coming out the bottom. We are not going to do that. We're going to leave them open on both sides so that if I had this outside and it rained in this container, it would just fill up and the water would be stagnant in here. So this lets the water come out the bottom, but you can cap that off. I lost the caps, so I can't cap it off. So I can't overwater while we're indoors. But anyway, now that these are in, they're ready to go, we're going to water them. I will be watering this one from the bottom. That's my plan anyway, or at least from the base of the plants and when it needs to be watered. But for now, this soil is extremely dry. I'm going to water it from the top just to give it a kick start. And it's going to come out the bottom. I have plenty of drainage holes in the bottom. All right, that one's ready. This one, now I have to be a little more careful with this one because if I put too much water, we're going to have water on the floor and we don't want that. So we are going to definitely give it a watering from the top all the way across. So make sure the soil is nice and damp But I have to be careful not to overwater or I'll have a mess to clean up. And for this, I don't even have to water from the top. There's a watering spot right here. So I can water from this spot right here on this device. I don't have to water the dirt itself. So just wanted to point that out as well. So that's it. Now, beans need full sun. So they need to have plenty of light as well. I have grow lights in here, LED grow lights in here. So I can actually put these pretty much anywhere in this grow tent and they'll have plenty of light to grow and survive, right? And to flourish, I should say. And so we're going to add it just inside the grow tent beside me here. We're going to move these over there. I might put one on a shelf. I might put this one up on the shelf and then it can get the benefit of the grow lights and we'll keep this one down on the floor. So let's go over there and get that done. And then we will plant the rest of these seeds. I just harvested a head of lettuce and that means I have a spot that has nothing in it, which is going to be perfect for some beans. So this container, we're going to put it, actually, I am going to put it in between these two green stalks. That's what I'm going to do. No, because then when I need to move it, I'm not going to be able to move it. We're going to leave it right here. That's what we're going to do. Here's another one of those Vego Garden herb planters that's self-watering. It's a smaller, it's like half the size of this other one here. And in this one, I have cucumbers growing. I have a cucumber growing. I have a cucumber that's not very happy growing, but that's what I have in this container. Let's just put it over here out the way for now. I have lots of grow lights, but if I don't need them, I don't turn them on. I don't waste the electricity. So we're going to move this over here out the way. All right, I've decided to put these beans up here. So there's a grow light up here as well. It's not as powerful as, for example, this one right here, but I think this is a good spot until it germinates and then we'll find another place because there's plenty of room in here for us to grow beans. But we'll start it right here in this spot here. And the other one we've already got down on the floor. And so y'all, we're gonna have beans too. In a couple of months, we should have beans. So I will share with you everything that's going on. You know what? Can I do that? And I can do that. All right. So one of the things that I like to do is not run more lights than I have to. And since these beans have not germinated, I can put them right here. And I don't have to run this light. You see that? That's one less light that I got to turn on from an electric bill standpoint. So we're going to put it right here next to our seedlings. We're going to make sure that it gets plenty of circulation. Make sure that the air is blowing in this space here. And now I'm good to go. Now, once these germinate and they start growing, and you want your seedlings to be close to the light until it starts growing, especially when you're using shop lights like I am here. Once it starts growing, then I can put it next to one of these grow lights, which are more powerful, which uses more electricity. I will turn it on at that time to save on my energy bill. But while I'm just waiting for it to germinate, I'm going to leave it right here under this shop light. Then I'll move it up to one of the grow lights. Now let's move over and add those last few beans to that green stalk where I just harvested a head of lettuce. All right, where's that head that I just harvested? Here it is right here. There is nothing left in this pocket. I just harvested a head of lettuce. This one's not going to grow back because I did harvest the entire head. I am going to leave the root in here so that it can compost in place, if that makes sense. I do want to add a little fertilizer. So I didn't have this pocket prepared. The last time this pocket received fertilizer was when I first set that pocket up. I'm going to add a little more compost. We're going to make that pocket happy again. And so I'm going to give it a little mix. And yep, I just pulled that root up. I didn't mean to, but I did. But it can still compost in place. It's not going to hurt it. All right. Now I have 5 beans somewhere. Where did I put them? Y'all, I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. All right. Here are the 5 beans. I think it's 5. Yep, 5 beans I have left. So I'm going to do 3 in the front. I'm going to do 2 in the back. And we will just see how they do compared to the other containers. And they all got the same fertilizers, the same compost. Let's cover them up. I've already watered this GreenStalk today, so this pocket is already nice and moist, but we will add this little bit of water right here. So now we will have strike beans coming up in this one pocket. And that's what I like about the GreenStalk, because you can mix it up. I got tomatoes, now I have beans, I have lettuce. Lots of different stuff can grow in such a small space. So we now have beans growing in 3 different containers: a self-watering container, a GreenStalk, and just a container that I got that used to be a kid's toy. So we're going to grow some beans, y'all. And hopefully we will be successful at growing those beans. Hopefully you enjoyed this little bean tutorial. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and I'll keep the videos coming for you. And until next time, and I hope there will be a next time, that you hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Cozy Corner. Talk to you soon. Bye.